So next you have the architectural feature of the windows. When we are talking about windows, you have one is a bay window, second one is a boxed out window, third is dormer window, then you have casements, single hung, or you have the accent window. First one is the bay window. A bay window looks like this. Now, a bay window could be provided in 3 to 5 components, and it's mostly in three. Now, where is the bay window actually provided? It's mostly provided towards the front, and it's flanking towards the its high exposure elevation. So you provide it towards the front side of the house mostly, and it's an architectural feature which would be more prevalent in the front side of the house. So all windows, first of all, on front flanking the face of the house, they can be either bay window or boxed out window. Now, all windows actually need to be properly sealed for thermal insulation. They have to be double glazed, and now you could have, just let me show you how the windows would be provided with the features of double glazing. So these are windows which are actually properly sealed, and then there are double glazes, two panes, one on the outside and one on the inside, and they would act like sound barriers, dust barriers, as well as thermal insulators. Next is that once you have sealed all the windows, if you're providing windows on low elevations, they need to have horizontal sliders provided the glass that you are having in the window is provided with sash. So I'll show you how does it look like. You have a window like this. Because it's low elevation window, it's you can easily slide this window over the horizontal sliders. Now, why is it so? Because in most of the countries, you have the houses facing the street, and if you open the window towards the street and if it's low elevation, the window can strike on the head of the pedestrians moving on the street. So these sliders are provided such that windows are not open towards the street. And that's the case even in our houses. Now, if you have backside windows in your houses where you have less space, narrow spaces to move, and on the rear side of the house, you, and if your window is low elevation, you do not provide the window opening into that side. It can bang into the head. So it's better to provide horizontal sliders into those windows if it's uh, if it's below 5 feet level. Next, windows which are maintenance free, they should be encouraged. Now, what type of windows would requires maintenance? It requires periodical maintenance in terms of because it undergoes seasonal change in its volume and shape. So it requires maintenance. It requires paint. Now, windows like you have the backlight or aluminum or UPVC, they would be maintenance free windows. But however, you could have a different levels, like you have UPVC windows which are much better than backlight, and backlight which is much better than aluminum, and aluminum is much better than steel windows. So, and steel undergoes corrosion, so you cannot, that also requires maintenance. Aluminum, backlight, and UPVC do not undergo corrosion. They do not absorb moisture. So they are maintenance free in that aspect, such that because the paint does not, the oxy paint which is applied onto them does not fall off. Next, the windows should have consistent sill level as well as lintel level. Now, this is a requirement as per the earthquake provisions as well, that you have a consistent sill as well as lintel level. And if you check IS 4326, that also mentions that for earthquake code, you need to have consistent sill and lintel level. show it to you first. As per the earthquake code, this is the requirement that you need to have a lintel band at the top of the uh, windows as well as doors at the same level. Now, this is both in the loading frame structures as well as in masonry structures. This is at the same level, the lintel. Now, this is the sill slab that has to be maintained as well, but you cannot maintain between the window and the door. But for the rest of the windows, you can maintain this level. Although might be difficult to maintain architecturally the sill slab level, but you have to ensure that the lintel band level is met off with. So it has to be both complying with the architectural as well as the structural earthquake requirements. The lintel band has to be at the same level. Yes, you can have the vent openings above the lintel band here, which act like exhausts and other ventilators. So, but you cannot have one window crossing the lintel band level. There are windows that are going from one story to another story in our area, um, and there is no control on the level of the windows. But if you have a look at the traditional building structures, have a look at this. This is the building with bay windows towards the street as well as casement windows towards the street. So you have all the windows at proper sill as well as proper lintel level in this building. So you could have a variety of bay window styles in buildings as per the architectural requirement. One sort of it is this. This is one type of bay window you could have in the building architecture. You could have something like this. And you must have seen the bay windows in our region, and they in our older structures, the bay windows just were like in this fashion. Like this one. So they were the traditional examples of having the bay windows. Then you have boxed out windows. Box out window is somewhat like this. It's not as much taken outside the main. So although it's boxed out a little bit from the around 13 inch, while as the bay window is taken out around 2 feet from the main structure. Then you have the dormer windows, and now these all sorts of windows are actually providing either the bay window or the box out window or the dormer window. This is the dormer window. It's providing the ventilation as well as lighting in areas which would be darker. So this is a dormer window, one one form of a dormer window. Then you could have contemporary style of dormer window like this. Do you have a class after this?